Hello and welcome back to Bumblebee, where today's video we talk about the famed French astrologer Michel de Nostradamus, commonly known as Nostradamus, and his book of chilling predictions, Les Prophéties, published over 450 years ago. Despite the book's age, many of his predictions have come true, but not all. Today's video is the top 10 Nostradamus predictions that might still come true. We're gonna start with the change on the Brit Isles. One of the most recent world events that people have claimed is linked to his prophecies was the passing of Queen Elizabeth II in September of 2022. Following her death, Nostradamus' book actually broke its sales record, and it seems to be linked to this following prediction. Because they disapproved of his divorce, a man who later they considered unworthy, the people will force out the king of the island. A man will replace him who never expected to be king. Some consider the passage to be referring to King Charles III and his famous decision to announce to the world he'd cheated on Princess Diana, followed immediately by her slam-dunk divorce from him. The whole world sided with the young woman, and Charles has been publicly loathed since. And before too, honestly. So, a mass of the public believes that, based on this prediction, the king will abdicate in the coming year. Seeing as there's the little part about his successioner being the man who never expected to be king, we got options. Naturally, who jumps to mind first is Prince Harry, rather than the heir to throne William. One very obviously wants it, one does not. Could be any of their kids, too, in which case the whole region thing may happen, and that gets people pissy. The muskiest of all millionaires is twofold if this prediction is to come true: the off-planet disaster. The astrologer predicted in his book that humanity's quest to colonize Mars, a quest which is currently being led by the adult-sized 5-year-old with too much money and time, Elon Musk's SpaceX crew. And it may come to an end in 2023. Nostradamus cryptically mentioned the light on Mars will go out in his book of prophecies. This could be explained by the planet moving backwards in the sky due to retrograde motion. On the other hand, it could refer to humanity's efforts to inhabit the planet and what that brings. Although NASA only expects to reach the red planet by late 2030 or early 2040, other groups have already announced their plans to launch manned missions towards Earth's neighbor. In July 2022, California-based companies Relativity Space and Impulse Space announced they were teaming up to launch the first commercial mission to the red planet in 2024, many years before Elon Musk's SpaceX was scheduled to launch their first spaceship of its Mars and beyond mission. No matter who goes first, Nostradamus' predictions for the trip seem to signal ill fortune, and followers believe its prediction alludes to explosions, potentially caused by aircraft crashes, hurtling back into Earth's atmosphere and down at us. Next up is Nostra is pushing retirement. Nostradamus' prediction for 2023 is the arrival of a new pope to succeed Francis, aka the last true pope, and that the next pope would cause a debacle, potentially the end of the world. In the final persecution of the Holy Roman Church, there will be Peter the Roman, who will feed his flock amid many tribulations, after which the seven-hilled city will be destroyed and the dreadful judge will judge the people. Undoubtedly, the death of Pope Demetrius Benedict XIV could have had something to do with this. He served as the head of the Roman Catholic Church from 2005 until his surprise resignation in 2013. Since then, there's been a widespread media speculation over Pope Francis's health and possible retirement this year. Francis is now 86, 1 year older than Benedict was when he retired, and unlike Benedict, despite needing a cane and a wheelchair, he shows no sign of slowing down. He's got a trip to Portugal in August even. But with Benedict's death, the path to retirement becomes easier. Papal retirement is still a newer concept, and they haven't really figured out what a retired pope does yet. Also, it's been confusing for people to have two dudes dressed in white living in the Vatican. With one retired pope out, another can technically take his place. Whether Francis retires or dies in his papacy, Nostra is predicting it could be this year, and whoever follows him is gonna suck real bad. Another prediction I believe we're already seeing unfold is man and woman. Third major theory Nostra presented for 2023 dictates that man and woman will work together to create a new society that will result in a common good. However, the prophet indicated that the alliance will be short-lived, as well as its positive effects on society. Experts have interpreted this warning as a high-impact conflict and instability in likely the United States. The likelihood seems that the alliance will have to do with the uplifting or equity of one or both sexes, and it will be short-lived not due to its success, but rather because of its success. This alliance alliance will be providing results, and good ones, Notre says, benefiting both sexes likely in ways that the gender unifying only could. Emotional safety for men, bodily safety for women, comprehension and communication between the sexes, holding both sexes accountable in front of law and societal standards, things like that. But because of its success, those angry and intimidated by these forms of safety and liberty of self, there are always those people who can't accept themselves and resent others who can, will do whatever they can to place laws against it or attack them, etc. Thus, it will be short-lived by being destroyed. The social tides are changing, and you can see this alliance growing, especially amongst the bonds of LGBTI communities and people of color seeking refuge in one another nowadays. In which case, this next prediction of riots and revenge may have a pretty good basis. The prophet wrote in his book, "Sooner or later you will see the great changes made, horrors and terrible revenges." This prediction implies there will be more social upheavals and civil rebellion will occur in the coming months. The astrologer went on to write, "Trumpets are shaking in great controversy," and "an agreement that has been broken," which once again alludes in some way to a rebellion or revolution somewhere on Earth in 2023. The speculations are that the prophecy refers to the riots in Iran following the death of Mehsa Amini, which are not expected to stop anytime soon and are probably going to escalate. If you direct your attention to everything Florida is outlining, you can see that mass protests and riots aren't far off as they are removing education. Perhaps this is also the source that will be unifying man and woman. Either way, riots are on the menu for 2023, and if you need proof, just read the news at any given time. It's outlandish, hey, but it could become true. People eating. Nostradamus predicted that humanity may face the threat of people eating due to a failing economy, writing, "There are no abbots, monks, no novices to teach. Honey will cost more than candle wax, and the price of wheat will be high. Man will be agitated and eat his friend in despair." These words apparently just reinforce the known fact that the cost of living will only continue to rise in 2023, and leave many hoping that the reference to man-eating is only metaphorical. Maybe it's about time North America does a currency reevaluation. Having a weaker currency relative to the rest of the world can help boost exports, shrink trade deficits, and reduce the cost of interest payments on its outstanding government debt. We'd have affordable economy more akin to the early 2000s. Anyways, I don't see people eating on the table unless there's a horrible, mysterious disease outbreak, a really scary new street drug out there, or our luck just takes a really apocalyptic-ass turn. Because this isn't the most existential, dread-inducing countdown ever, let's add sky terrors. In Quatrain 578, Nostradamus wrote, "In the year 2023, the great king of terror will come from the sky. He will bring with him great famine and plague, causing the death of many. His reign will be short, but the destruction he causes will be long-lasting." This quatrain is assumed to mean major disaster, possibly a natural one, or a foreign country attack, naturally. Another extreme opinion is maybe it's to do with Musk, his space mission, and his immense desire for power. Not saying he'd plan a universal coup, but he has been known for some supervillain tendencies, so who knows. But I mean, in 1999, Nostra also predicted, "In the 7th month from the sky will come the king of terror, bringing back the great king of the Mongols, before and after Mars to reign by good fortune." However, no king of terror came from the sky or anywhere else in 1999, not even the Y2K bug. So this could be another disastrous king never to come, or someone hiding in plain sight. Next up is the long-standing Mabus prediction. Mabus will soon die, then will come a horrible undoing of people and animals. At once one will see vengeance, 100 hands, thirst, famine, and the comet will pass. Quatrain 262. So this was first thought to apply on January 5th of 2010 when there was a comet reported by NASA that many believed to align with the prophet's prediction of one. And consequently, after said comet, the next prophecy was that Mabus would die. Coincidentally, Mabus would die right before the Third World War and potentially be the trigger of it. If that was the case, many people were waiting with bated breath at their TVs for a week after that comet, trying to figure out who Mabus was by what political or influential leader dropped dead. So, who is Mabus? Likely the Flemish painter Jan Mabus, who lived at the same time as Nostradamus. But this one isn't dated, so Mabus could apply to any time and period shortly after a certain comet passes. What does that have to do with the Antichrist or a reign of terror when the comet passes? Who knows? Likely nothing at all. The scholars have put forth a million guesses for who Mabus is, from Hassan to Barack Obama to former US Secretary of the Navy literally named Ray Mabus. Naturally, since it's brought up in almost every prediction so far, there's also apparently going to be a great war. One line in the Mystics book stands out in particular. It read, "7 months of great war, people will die because of evil, but their light will not fall to the hands of the king." This prediction could refer to the current conflict in Ukraine, which is probably the first thing you thought of when I mentioned a great war. However, there is a dispute regarding that opinion, since their conflict has surpassed 7 months and even the 1-year mark. Because of this, people wonder if it's America and China or Pakistan and India that will engage in some form of smackdown due to their rising tensions. In this social and political climate, the terrifying in reality is we can only wait and see. And the last, most accurate, and most terrifying. Goodbye, rainbows. The dry land will dry up even more, and there will be great floods when you see the rainbow. For 40 years, the rainbow will not be seen. For 40 years, it'll be seen every day. The dry earth will grow more parched, and there will be great floods when it is seen. The earth may suffer another climate disaster in 2023, according to the words of Nostradamus. As climate change continues to worsen, this forecast doesn't seem far-fetched at all. As most of you know, a great portion of Canada is on fire, pouring smoke over the country and well into America, causing hazardous air conditions and climate pollution we cannot keep up with. This is no longer a time to deny climate change. It's changing right now in front of your eyes, right outside the doors. If you need visual proof, maybe the orange glow of New York City smog is enough for you. Put out your campfire, throw your cigarette butts away properly, and just stay safe, everyone. Alrighty, I hope you enjoyed today's existential video. If you'd like to see more of our videos on history, discovery, science, and more, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to comment down below any predictions of Nostra you think may come true or not true.